Breaking news: the Las Vegas Raiders are facing a massive test that could define their season. After their recent showdown with the New England Patriots, serious questions remain about one critical area: the secondary. And with the Los Angeles Chargers on deck, the spotlight has never been brighter. Stick with me, because what we saw against the Patriots may just be the warning sign Raider Nation cannot ignore. In the game against New England, one thing stood out above everything else: the Raiders' secondary looked shaky. Yes, Kyu Kelly flashed potential and had some great moments, but overall, the defensive backfield didn't inspire full confidence. The scheme itself played a role. Running that familiar cover 3 shell, straight out of the Pete Carroll playbook, left the defense far too predictable. Time and time again, the Patriots' rookie quarterback, Drake May, seemed to know exactly where to go with the ball. And that's the problem: when an offense can anticipate your coverage, it becomes a chess match you're destined to lose. Now, Raider Nation, let's pause for a moment. Before we dive deeper into this breaking story, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and don't forget to smash the bell icon so you never miss the latest Raiders updates. Alright, let's get back to it, because here's the reality: even in bad weather, even with a rookie QB, New England still put up numbers. May threw for 287 yards, one of his receivers topped 100 yards, and the tight end had a solid day too. That's concerning. Because this Monday night, it's not Drake May on the other sideline. It's one of the NFL's top quarterbacks. It's the Chargers. And there will be no bad weather to save you. This upcoming battle isn't just another divisional game. It's a measuring stick for the Raiders' defense, especially the secondary. If they can't adjust, the Chargers will expose every weakness. The deeper you look into this Raiders' defense, the more the scheme itself raises red flags. Yes, Kyu Kelly had some strong moments. He showed flashes of exactly why the Raiders are high on him. But for every play he made, there were also wide-open windows left behind. Against New England, Drake May missed some of those opportunities. Against the Chargers, Justin Herbert won't. That's the danger. Football constantly evolves. Every few years, the way teams play this game shifts dramatically. Remember when it was all about pounding the rock, drafting running backs early, and stacking the box to shut down the run? Then the league flipped. It became about spreading defenses, throwing the ball everywhere, and forcing secondaries to cover the entire field. Defenses responded with trends of their own. The once dominant cover 3 shell, the hallmark of Pete Carroll's system, is no longer at the top of the league. Today, the most respected defensive minds have moved away from it. Guys like Robert Saleh, Mike McDonald, Brian Flores, Vic Fangio, and Steve Spagnuolo, they've shifted to split safety looks, lighter boxes, and cover 2 disguises. Why? Because quarterbacks are simply too good now. Show them the same look over and over, and they'll tear it apart. And that's exactly where the Raiders could find themselves exposed. The Chargers don't just have 1 or 2 weapons, they spread the ball around to everyone. Against the Chiefs, Quentin Johnston went for 79 yards, Ladd McConkey added 74, Keenan Allen pulled in 68, and even the 4th wide receiver had explosive gains. That kind of depth can shred a defense stuck in outdated schemes. So here's the real question: can the Raiders adjust their system in time, or are we about to witness another painful reminder that the league has passed this scheme by? The numbers don't lie. The Chargers just threw for 318 yards against Kansas City, and remember, the Chiefs are regarded as one of the best defenses in football. That tells us everything about the challenge the Raiders' secondary is about to face. This isn't just another matchup. This is the ultimate stress test for a scheme that many around the league believe has been left behind. The cover 3 shell once felt revolutionary when Pete Carroll unleashed it on the NFL. Dan Quinn rode it all the way to a Super Bowl appearance with Atlanta. For a time, it worked, until the game shifted again. And here's the truth: whenever defenses built on cover 3 run into elite quarterbacks, history shows the results are brutal. Dan Quinn's defenses, no matter how tough they looked on paper, have collapsed against top-tier passers. We all remember the Cowboys' playoff collapse against Green Bay, when Jordan Love shredded what was supposed to be a number 1 defense. 40 points later, that scheme looked outdated. The same pattern has played out again and again. Gus Bradley's Raiders defense could stifle average quarterbacks, but when Patrick Mahomes rolled into town, he lit it up for 5 touchdowns like it was a practice scrimmage. That's the danger of staying predictable. Great quarterbacks don't just beat cover 3, they dismantle it. And now, Justin Herbert is waiting. Raider Nation, this is where we'll find out who this team really is. If the Raiders rise up and win, you can start putting them in the top 10 conversation. If they fight hard and keep it close, they're still right in that playoff mix. But if it's a blowout, if the Chargers run away with it, then we'll know this defense isn't ready for the league's best. This isn't just a Monday night game. It's a statement game. And the Raiders' future might look very different depending on how this secondary responds under the lights. Here's the reality: if the Raiders can't get pressure on Justin Herbert, he will carve them apart. That's not opinion, that's history. Leave him too much time, and the cover 3 shell disintegrates. By the 4th second of a play, breakdowns happen. Linebackers end up matched against slot receivers. Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, or even the Chargers' 4th option will exploit that mismatch every single time. And don't overlook the other side of the ball. Jesse Minter, the Chargers' defensive coordinator, has quickly earned a reputation as one of the sharpest minds in the league. His cover 2-based system disguises looks, inserts safeties at the right moments, and forces quarterbacks into mistakes. That's the chess match waiting for the Raiders' offense. But here's where it gets even trickier: Los Angeles has a strong offensive line. That means Herbert often has those precious extra seconds to let routes develop. If the Raiders' pass rush doesn't get home, the back end will be left exposed, again. That's why the pressure up front is just as important as coverage in the secondary. Now, zooming in on personnel, Jeremy Chinn showed flashes against the run, but his coverage left room for concern. Jamal Adams looked outstanding. Devin White was flying around the field. But if the Chargers manage to pull linebackers into coverage against wideouts, it's game over. That's the exact scenario the Raiders must avoid. And then there's the health factor. Tight end Brock Bowers remains a question mark. He didn't practice today, with a brace clearly visible on his left knee. The team hopes he can return to the field before Saturday, but as of right now, his status for Monday night is uncertain. His presence could be a difference maker, but Raider Nation may have to prepare for life without him against the Chargers. This game isn't just about X's and O's, it's about survival. The Raiders' depth, discipline, and adaptability will all be tested under primetime lights. The situation with Brock Bowers is becoming one of the biggest storylines heading into Monday night. The tight end continues to wear a brace on his left knee, and while the injury originally came after a hit to his right leg, it was the fall onto his left side that caused the real damage. That detail matters, because it explains why his recovery has been slower than many expected. As of now, Bowers has not participated in practice. And while the Raiders remain hopeful, the reality is that his chances of playing against the Chargers appear slim. Losing him would be a serious blow. He just put up over 100 yards last week, and several of his catches were game-changing plays, including that long-angle route that flipped field position before ending with him shaken up. His ability to stretch defenses is rare, and taking that weapon away changes the dynamics of the Raiders' offense. Still, there is reason for optimism. Michael Mayer, last year's highly touted tight end prospect, steps into the spotlight if Bowers can't go. Mayer isn't Bowers, few players are, but he's talented enough to keep the offense moving. He's physical, reliable, and capable of making those tough catches over the middle. If he can seize this opportunity, the Raiders might soften the blow of losing their star rookie. On the other side, the Chargers aren't fully healthy either. Linebacker Denzel Perryman, a familiar name for Raider Nation, hasn't practiced. Del'Shawn Phillips is also sidelined, while defensive back Elijah Molden has been limited with a hamstring issue. Those are important names, especially against a team that will likely rely heavily on tight ends and short passing to counter the Chargers' aggressive defense. But here's the bottom line: no matter who's missing, no matter which stars are banged up, the Raiders can't lean on excuses. This is a divisional showdown, and it demands urgency. If Bowers is out, Mayer has to step up. If the Chargers are down linebackers, the Raiders must attack those weaknesses. The tone of the season could shift based on how this team responds to adversity on Monday night. Let's close with one of the most intriguing off-field storylines, the contract situation with Jakobi Meyers. A recent report clarified something important. Meyers isn't asking for anywhere near $30 million per year, despite rumors flying after the Lions paid their star wideout $34 million. The truth is, his demands are far more reasonable. But here's the catch: every week he continues to produce at a high level, his price tag inches higher. Think about it. If he's around $20 to $21 million today, and keeps stacking 100-yard games like he did this past Sunday, that number could quickly rise. At some point, the Raiders may face a decision: lock him up now, or watch the market push him out of reach. Because if the price ever creeps into the $30 million range, this front office simply won't bite. And yet, Meyers has earned serious consideration. Time and again, he's come through in pivotal moments. Nearly 100 yards last week, chemistry with his quarterback that can't be faked, and a reliability that makes him the go-to option in tight spots. We've seen the Raiders reward their cornerstones before: Max Crosby, Colton Miller, and if Meyers is asking to be taken care of, he has a strong case. This isn't just about numbers on a contract. It's about identity. If Chip Kelly's system is going to lean on timing routes, sharp concepts, and dependable receivers, then who better than Meyers to be at the heart of it? Yes, young talents like Jack Beck and Trey Tucker bring speed and promise, but they're still developing. Meyers is the steady hand right now, and without him, many of those design plays collapse before they even start. The Raiders need to decide quickly. Do they see Jakobi Meyers as part of their long-term foundation, or do they risk losing one of the few weapons who has already proven he can deliver when it matters most? Here's the reality with offensive play design: you only get so many chances before defenses adjust. Take Brock Bowers' angle route as the perfect example. If Geno Smith doesn't hit him in stride on that first look, you can forget about calling it again, because once the defense sees it, it's gone. The same goes for the misdirection where Bowers faked the screen to Jakobi Meyers before breaking toward the corner. Those plays only work when executed right on the spot. And the Raiders have been able to make those designs pay off largely because Meyers has been consistent, beating press coverage, finishing tough catches, and showing reliability in high-leverage moments. That's exactly why the Raiders need to take care of him financially. A raise that reflects his impact feels less like a luxury and more like a necessity. Now, when it comes to the offensive line, I held off on a deep film breakdown this week. The weather played too big a role in the game's flow, and I don't think that would have given us a fair evaluation. But moving forward, I'll be breaking down the line play, the good, the bad, and everything in between. That's where games are won or lost, and it's an area I've spent years studying. And of course, the attention now shifts to the Chargers. I've already been through their defensive tape twice, and what stands out is the way their coaches scheme pressure and disguise coverages. They don't rely on one superstar to wreck a game. Instead, they mix up looks, create confusion, and consistently find ways to collapse the pocket. The Raiders need to be sharp, because this is not a defense you can take lightly. The stage is set. Meyers' contract questions linger, the offensive line has something to prove, and a divisional clash with the Chargers is looming. These next few weeks could go a long way in defining just how far this Raiders team can climb.